watching. Dan Arbell joins in, the former deputy chief of mission at the Israeli embassy. Dan, good to see you. Here's a clip from President Trump earlier today in the Knesset when he was talking particularly about Benjamin Netanyahu. And here's part of what he said about the Israeli prime minister. Watch.
And he is not easy, I want to tell you. He's not the easiest guy to deal with, but that's what makes him great. Hey, I have an idea. Mr. President, why don't you give him a pardon? Give him a pardon. Come on.
Kind of interesting, not getting as much attention for obvious reasons with everything going on today, but that was brought up in the Knesset with Netanyahu still facing his own legal woes. What did you make of that one moment?
Well, it was pretty expected because Trump has been saying that for quite some time. Also, his ambassador to Israel has been reiterating that. I think he feels kind of a kinship as he was under indictments and charges and trials, and so he feels for his friend or colleague in Israel who's going through the same, jumping through the same loops. But in the Israeli legal process, you cannot just have a president pardon someone who hasn't been charged with anything officially. He's still going through a trial, 5 years long already, may last even longer. Only when he's found guilty can a president actually intervene and then pardon him. It's up to the Attorney General of the State of Israel. It's up to the courts to decide that. So it's a nice gesture on behalf of Trump towards his friend or co-leader Netanyahu, but it doesn't really have a realistic option for that.
Understood. What do you make, though, of the larger relationship between these two men and how it works into the relationship between the two countries? You know, that apology from the Oval Office, New York Times wrote about it with a headline about how fury over Israel's Qatar attack pushed Netanyahu on Gaza by saying it motivated an angry Mr. Trump and his advisors to pressure Mr. Netanyahu into supporting a framework for ending the war. Do you agree with that assessment in terms of that might have been an important moment, and the way the president handled it may have also been an important moment?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that definitely the Qatar attack worked both ways. On one hand, it got the U.S. very nervous, and it led the president to kind of pressure Netanyahu into a deal to end the war. On the other hand, it also signaled to Hamas that Israel is going to go to all lengths in order to target its leadership. So they should have a vested interest also in agreeing to a compromise. So it worked. The Qatar attack did not succeed in targeting the Hamas leadership, but it did the trick both in getting Trump on board, pressuring Israel, and also pressuring Hamas that Israel is serious about going after them. In terms of the relationship, then, it's a strong relationship. These two men have known ups and downs. Right now, it's a honeymoon period, but that doesn't mean things can't be spoiled down the road if Netanyahu does not do things that Trump likes or appreciates.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you think about, there's so much happiness today and jubilation for obvious reasons, but to your point, there's a lot of work still to be done, and these two are going to have to interact a lot. What about internal Israeli politics? What would your assessment be of how that impacts it? Here's a quick clip of protesters heckling Trump during his Knesset speech, which otherwise was very, very well received. Watch.
I've seen it over and over again.
They drag the one guy out. How do his internal Israeli politics play into what comes next here?
So, look, first of all, we have to say Netanyahu did the unimaginable in terms of surviving 2 years after this horrendous attack and still being prime minister, still leading the country. If elections were held today, right after Trump's speech, Netanyahu would definitely win. But elections are at least 6 months to a year away, and anything can happen between now and then. Therefore, he's facing a serious, contender for position, former Prime Minister Bennett, and he's got a lot of hurdles he has to, jump over in order to be reelected. And certainly it's not in his pocket right now yet.
Okay, Dan. Thank you, Dan Arbell.